Hey everybody, it's Somnior Respiratory Flux, call me Flux for short, or whatever you want to call me. And in the last episode, we would have made it to the end of this world, except the path crumbled, so we have to take the long way around. And now we're about halfway through doing that, so let's go on to the actual last full level of World 6, Cliff Top Climb, which I saved this one for this episode after the last episode, even though it ended up being really bizarrely short, because this isn't necessarily a level I would say is super difficult, at least not that I remember. But what I do remember is I do remember considering this level to be really long. Yeah, that's right, because I was a little bit weird. I couldn't remember exactly what this thing did. And yeah, okay, so that's where that puzzle piece is. Then you just kind of jump into these dinosaur skeleton mouths. Again, I don't really think I remember seeing that as weird before, but also, yep. There's a bonus hidden right underneath there, and this is going to be another one of these types, so I'm going to focus on blasting whenever I see that the middle barrel is out of my way, rather than trying to blast. Okay, that's one reason I'm really not big on that particular bonus thing, but okay, I'll say yes. The gimmick on this level, as you can tell, is going to be everything collapses from underneath you, so you kinda have to be hurrying. Thank you. Oh, and there's another puzzle piece, so I got two rather than just the one. And yeah, you blast straight up into a checkpoint again. Again, I'm not really sure if I like that sort of ratchet level, like you're getting stuck moving forward. So it's just, I don't know if I necessarily like that in terms of, I don't know, it's not terrible, but I feel like it also does detract from things a little bit. There's another hidden bonus room right over here. Also, maybe this level isn't quite as long as I remembered it being. If that's the case, it might not be a terrible thing because of another level I'm going to be doing in this episode. So, but yeah, I'm still going to have to go back and get that one bonus at the start of the level, especially because I can't get it now on this run of the level, even if I die. Get the end there, which is kind of weirdly placed to be risky to get to. Also, just kind of swinging back on this platform that was an obstacle before, no big deal. That in the background there, this level has something in the background that I have always read about, but never really properly seen for myself. And I'm pretty sure that cliff shape is supposed to be it. People always say that they see a cliff in the backdrop of this level that resembles either a Kremling or even King K. Rool from the original Super NES trilogy. And I'm going to be honest, I don't see it. So, again, maybe it's further down in the level earlier on, but, or maybe I'm just seeing it at the wrong point of the level where things line up, so, or maybe I'm thinking about the wrong place to look even, and maybe it's one of the fossils? again, I don't know. I've always read people say that it's visible in this particular level, but I have never actually properly seen it myself. Also, yeah, that's not really a good place to be constantly dying a lot. I need to actually be doing better. And I think that is one reason why I think I remembered this level being so long rather than just the overall length, is that it's so easy to mess up once and just die and go back quite a ways, because I made it a good bit past this checkpoint earlier. And now I just can't, so I'm not sure what to do about that. But no, so I mean, I guess that actually kind of brings me into something that a lot of people, I mean, sort of complained about, but I think the actual, like, real complaint has died down a bit since the game first came out. But once this game was first announced, people were legitimately angry that the enemies of this game were Tikis, which were new enemies, rather than the standard Kremlings from the original games. And I don't know if I necessarily agree with that complaint. I mean, I like the original games and I like the Kremlings as enemies, but I think that this game proves that you can have a Donkey Kong Country game without necessarily relying on the same antagonists over and over. And even Tropical Freeze has its own antagonists other than the Tikis. So I don't know if I necessarily agree with that being a fault in and of itself for the game. I don't know if I like the Tikis as much as the Kremlings, but I don't necessarily miss them to the point where I think this is a terrible game because they're not here. Anyway, moving on. K level. 6K Perilous Passage. This is one of the levels that I said is probably the bane of my existence, and you might see why. I consider this one of the top 3 hardest levels in this game, personally. And yeah, you've got kind of like this whole rising thing where everything is constantly just flooding with lava, and also Diddy Kong. Yeah. Also, that puzzle piece there, a lot of the times I would play this level early, like when I was first playing the game, like before I remembered this, that would be the only puzzle piece I would find, because the other ones are not actually plainly visible. And there's a lot going on that you're not necessarily able to, like, look for secrets everywhere in this level design. Also, jumping to that. Also, yes, you do not get a Diddy Kong, a DK barrel at the start of this level. So, that also is cause for this level to be considered pretty tricky. That's actually a hidden panel, and there are 3 others like it in this level. 3 other places like that in this level. Okay, and this is where things actually get really annoying. And it's the same exact complaint I had about Crowded Cavern. Those bees, those electric bees, you can't do anything to damage them. They are just kind of following you around for parts of this level, and they go away when you reach certain points of it. But you have to lead them in patterns so that you have the room to outmaneuver them. And in later parts of the level, it's not as difficult. But that part around the middle, it just sort of becomes really ridiculously difficult for me personally at least, to avoid them. And I don't know if that's just me being bad at the level or the game, or if that's actually unfair. Because 1 is not that bad to avoid. 2 gets a little trickier. And also that is the point at the level where they stop following you, so it's not that long of a section, but I just remember that giving me way more problems. And yes, again, they come back right here. And also falling into lava at any point is instant death. That kind of goes without saying. It's lava, not fun juice. Not quite sure why I put it that way, but okay, let's roll with it. Anyway, I like how I just jumped to get that anyway, even though I don't need it. But no, I am between focusing on this level to try and get it through it, and also, again, you don't get a DK barrel, so at this point where those, especially with those bees, actually having an extra couple of hits to take would really help. Also, speaking of having extra hits to take, I'm going to just go ahead and mention the heart boost item here. I don't think I've ever really mentioned before at this point why I find that really kind of useless of an item. It's because it only works for your first run through the level. If you die, I don't believe you get that heart boost. Okay, I don't know where I was planning on jumping there. But no, I think I do generally find the bees a little bit easier to dodge on that section there because of the springs, where if you can get into a rhythm bouncing from one to the other, you can kind of lead it in a figure 8 pattern and not have to deal with it all that much. But it's still really, really punishing. And I don't know, I just have more trouble with this level than I think any of the other K levels in this game combined. Even World 1 and World 5's K levels, I generally consider to be significantly easier and more fair about the difficulty than this level. So, I don't know. It also doesn't help that you can't really get hearts back from the bees. Or from anything in this level, actually. I don't think you really get hearts from any of it. So, but yeah, I just feel like a lot of this level is just going to be me repeating these early sections of it over and over. And, again, it's an auto-scroller. It limits how fast you can go through it, so every time I mess up, I am going to have to go through the same slow beginning part over and over, even though I've pretty much got it perfect. Well, okay. Maybe not entirely perfect, but you know what I meant. Also, I went a slightly different way there than I'm used to, so that might have thrown me off. But no, it's just... I appreciate what this level tries to do, and there are levels like this in the original trilogy, especially Donkey Kong Country 2, I believe, has a couple of different levels of this sort of format, where you're trying to jump upwards from a rising tide of something that will kill you. Like there's one that's a little bit more forgiving, where it's just water, but there's a piranha in it that will kill you if you're jumping too slowly and don't make it above the water. But then there's one in like the later world of the game where it's just toxic sludge. But yeah, it's like the bees aren't necessarily super regular or predictable in how they follow you. They just kind of follow you. It's like they have good AI, and that's not necessarily like something I'm used to saying about enemies in the Donkey Kong Country games. Also, that thing there is timed to pretty much completely troll you. Also, I am amazed that Mr. Bacon hasn't quite shown up yet. He would be Bacon in this level because of all the heat. Of course, because of the heat, Donkey Kong should be pretty much burnt to a crisp by this point too, but convection's convection. So, yeah, I don't know what else I can say about this. It's just, this level always takes me so many tries, and the early parts of it get completely boring by the time I'm even close to figuring out the later parts of it. It's just not fun to replay this part of the level over and over again when it's the parts after this that I'm having trouble with. And it's like, I can appreciate difficulty, but give me a fair checkpointing system. Give me one where I don't have to necessarily redo the entire level, even just because I fail at the very end of it. And I get that not having the checkpoints is part of the challenge of this particular level, and the K levels in general, but... Okay, that could have gone... I tried to bounce there. I made it further than I ever had. There you are. Go jump in the lava. But no, no, it's just sort of... This level just frustrates me in its very existence. It's
And again, I don't have a problem with levels being difficult. I love other levels in this game that are difficult and other people find difficult, and I even have trouble with. Okay, wow, that was glitchy in a lot of ways. Like, not how I died, but what happened when I died, I guess. But no, I am going to have to speed this whole section up so much that I might as well just go do the boss in this episode too. Or maybe even just cut out parts of this outright because it's not adding anything to the video. I'm just... Okay. And again, you just mess up slightly there, and oh, you don't have any leeway on the bees anymore. I don't know, I just feel like this particular level is a very bad example of having way too much to do with no leeway for error. And I get that it's supposed to be kind of a bragging rights thing, that not everybody who plays this game is going to play or beat this level. So it's supposed to be particularly challenging so that the people who do beat it can feel accomplished for it. I don't have a problem with that kind of accomplishment in designing hard levels and beating hard levels. I just have a problem with it where it feels like it's not worth going through it for the accomplishment. Like, I'm going to say this flat out, maybe it's part of the reason that I have so much trouble with this level, is that it's not one that I ever go back to. But it's not one I ever go back to because I have such a hard time with it and don't end up having fun playing it. So it's not like Minecart Madness in the original game, where it's like I would play that one over and over again, even though it's considered I'm pretty sure it's considered a fairly hard level for that game. But it's like, I just had so much fun playing it that I don't necessarily care that it's super difficult. I just play it because it's fun and I feel accomplished getting to the end of it. But this level, I feel accomplished getting to the end of it, but by the point where I feel that way, I just sort of feel burnt out and don't really want to be... I feel accomplished when I get to the end of this level, but I also feel like I don't care that I feel accomplished. I just feel like at that point that I want to be done and want to be playing a different level. And that is kind of the problem I have with some of the harder levels in this game. I don't mind trying to do something over and over to finally do it once. I mind when I do it the once and I don't even feel like that was worth a whole lot.
Like, for completing this game, it's necessary, and I need to beat this level in order to unlock the final level and really beat the game. But honestly, I just don't know if I enjoy this level at all. But I have to do it. I set out that I was going to LP this game, and my standards of LP in the game won't rest until I've beaten every level in it. So, and gotten all the puzzle pieces for that matter. Which, speaking of which, we still haven't actually gotten to the 4th puzzle piece. So yeah, that's kind of fun. But no, I'm just sort of sitting here trying to lure electric bees to a path so that they don't instantly kill me. And I'm hoping I can actually beat this level soon, so that I can... Okay, see, this is the kind of pattern I was talking about you can get into. Also, that is where one of the puzzle pieces is. That's where the other is. Which... Holy crap. And also, yes. No! 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 Finally! And with that, why must my favorite color orb be hidden behind such a terribly, terribly painful level? I'm pretty sure that that's about 10, a little under 10 straight minutes where I was just silent, just trying to finish that level. On top of everything else that I was just showing. I'm going to be cutting out a lot of this video. So you know what? No. I will do the boss next time on Let's Play Donkey Kong Country Returns. I will see you then. I just want to do something else now. Bye.